Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 24th day of February 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. We understand that traffic on Rex Crichton Boulevard, some of you know it colloquially as the East-West Arterial. That's the road running from Newlands down to the Chrissy Tomlinson roundabout, crosses the Prospect Primary School in that area. That's Rex Crichton Boulevard. We understand that traffic is moving very slowly on there. Some areas, after you reach the Chrissy Tomlinson roundabout, the road may be a little wet as well. It seems as if there may have been some precipitation earlier in that area. Not a whole lot, but just enough to make the roads dangerous because, as you know, when it rains, the first part of that rain, the first portion, makes the road extremely dangerous. There's always a buildup of oil on the roads during the dry period. You don't see it, but it becomes pronounced and evident when the rain comes down. So when the rain first comes down, it makes the road extremely dangerous and slippery. Again, that is when you need to adjust your driving to suit the conditions. Remember, your ability to stop when you brake is going to be affected by the wet roads as well. So we understand that traffic is maybe fairly heavy in that area as well. So we urge you to please be extremely, extremely cautious as you're out there. Always remember that the life you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days as well, a belated happy birthday. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. I want to, in particular, express condolences to the family of the late Mr. Hartman DaCosta, who passed away last week as well. Prominent businessman in the Cayman Islands, very active, very vocal about things that he believed in as well. And we want to say to the family, our prayers go out to you, and may his memories help to sustain you through these very challenging times as well. Those of you who may be infirmed and maybe at home or at a medical facility, we wish for you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Art Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. Those calls can be made on our toll-free number, provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at For the Record, one word, For the Record, at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And, of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. This morning, after the 8 o'clock news, we will have in the studio with us Mr. Alfonso Wright, the Executive Chair of Celebrate Cayman. He will be in here again to talk to you about the groundbreaking ceremony to take place tomorrow, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, for Seafarers Park. Also want to talk about the year-round continuing celebration of our seafarers as well. We want to talk more about that. We want to encourage people to get the information out there in relation to your relatives, and Mr. Alfonso will talk about the additional efforts that will be put in place to assist you, because we also need to make it quite clear that the initiative needs to come from you, the family members. Don't expect the government officials to do so. The initiative has to come from you. The information has to come from you as well. Also, in the another person who will be in the studio with us will be the president of the Seafarers Association, Mr. Denston Tibbetts. That will all be after the 8 o'clock news. We saw on Monday morning that Mr. Wright's presence here on For the Record and the topic that we were discussing garnered so much interest, so many calls. We want you to continue to call and contribute, but more importantly, we want you, if you have not already done so, get the information in about your loved ones who contributed to the Cayman Islands by their seafaring exploits. We want you to provide that information so that your loved ones, whether alive or deceased, can be recognized, because we have to continue to recognize our Caymanians, and what an opportunity for us to do that. We celebrate Discovery Day, but you know something? Whether or not Columbus had landed and found the Cayman Islands, somebody else would have, because they were here. It wasn't like Columbus made them. So maybe, if you're one of those who want to talk about change, and we know that there are persons out there rightfully advocating for a national holiday to be observed for our seafarers, maybe we should consider, if you don't want to have another holiday on the calendar, which some people will claim may affect businesses, then we change Discovery Day to National Seafarers Day. Nothing wrong with that. I'm part of the change culture. We can change that. We don't have statutes here in the Cayman Islands of those colonizers who profited from the hard labor, the sweat, and the blood and the tears of those persons who they enslaved. So we don't have to tear down statutes here. But what we can do is that things, areas that have been named for others who have no connections to a certain extent, or connections that we may not want to recognize, we can look about renaming them so that we can recognize our Caymanians and recognize and create our history for ourselves. We need to do that while we have the opportunity to do so. It's like the Democrats in the United States. You hear all of the political pundits talking about the fact that Democrats now control the House of Representatives by a slim margin, control the Senate by a slim margin, and also has control of the presidency. And this is the time for them to do things that they need to be done. They use the Barack Obama administration as an example of not really grabbing the iron while it is hot and getting things done. Here in the Cayman Islands, we need to do it while we are in control, because while many of us want to ensure that Caymanians remain in control of what happens in the Cayman Islands, we can see, and it may not happen in our lifetime, but we can see it trending towards the fact that it is a good, strong possibility that Caymanians may lose control. So we need to do what we have to do now. That is my political agitation for the morning so far. Not saying that I'm finished with it, but that's the part that I want to convey, because I don't want to put the officials who will be in here on the spot in relation to that. But I can say it without fear of anything. Okay, let me share with you the update, COVID-19 update. 23rd of February 2021, Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reported that 505 COVID-19 tests had been carried out since it was last reported on Monday, the 22nd of February 2021, and all of those were negative. The number of persons in isolation, either at a government facility or in their homes as required by the Medical Officer for Health, is now at 733. The total number of COVID-19 vaccines administered to date is 20,468. That is as of the 23rd. And out of those 20,468, 7,758 persons have completed the 2-dose course so far as well. We have additional information that we will share with you that the Health Services Authority has put out there in relation to COVID-19. Let's see if I can find that to share with you. Also, well, that is pretty long. Also, I will share with you again today Mr. Booth Hurlston's message that he has sent out in relation to COVID-19, what the people of the Cayman Islands have done, what the government has done in relation to COVID-19, and the fact that he, at 87 years of age, has had his COVID-19 shots as well, and encouraging others to do so also. I will again share that with you. So many things happening today as well. What do we have from the elections of? Oh, I promised that I would give this to you, and I'm going to do that now as well. This promise was from Monday, so it took me a long time to deliver. CBC's statement on exemption granted to the spouse of asylum recipient. Further to the previous media release dated the 4th of February, the Ministry of Employment and Border Control and the Customs and Border Control Service recognized the legislative limitation within the Customs and Border Control Act 2018 and inconsistency with the principle of family unity under the 1951 Convention and the 1967 Protocol relating to the status of refugees. As such, in December of 2020, Cabinet granted approval to the Ministry of Employment and Border Control to amend the Customs and Border Control Act 2018. The ministry is working with the Legislative Drafting Department to prepare an appropriate bill for Cabinet's consideration. In the absence of legislative amendments, a viable option to allow a spouse of an asylum recipient to legally remain and work in the islands is for Cabinet to exercise its power in accordance with Section 53, subsection 1B of the Immigration Transition Act 2018 and grant an exemption to allow that person to lawfully take up gainful employment. Cabinet at a recent meeting exercised those powers in respect of the spouse of a particular asylum recipient, thereby providing an opportunity for gainful employment within specified occupations for a period of 2 years. That decision was subsequently communicated to the relevant parties earlier this week by Customs and Border Control. Workforce Opportunities and Residence Cayman will manage employment-related services while CBC, Customs and Border Control, will continue to facilitate additional temporary support services in respect of persons seeking asylum as well as those who have received asylum. Customs and Border Control will continue to monitor individual circumstances and provide appropriate support in tandem with other agencies as necessary. And I believe, based on my viewpoint, that the government and Cabinet need not do any more at this point in time. If Cabinet has the authority and the flexibility to treat each asylum case as they appear, then it should remain that way. What we don't want to put in place something that persons will take advantage of, because believe you me, they will take advantage of it. They're doing it now. They will continue to take advantage of legal loopholes. And at the end of the day, it is important not only that we protect human rights, but we also have to ensure that we protect Caymanian rights. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Robert William Bert Foster. Bert Foster, a native of Cayman Brac, was the first college-educated and qualified teacher on the island. In 1929, he succeeded his sister as principal of the Western District Government School in Cotton Tree Bay. Many elder Brackers still remember Mr. Bert as an excellent teacher. He was strict but fair, and he instilled in the students his own standards and morals. His career at the government school was cut short by the 1932 hurricane, which destroyed the building. He lost several members of his family, including his sister and her infant son, and he was in charge of the cleanup and recovery efforts underway when their bodies were found. He taught for several years at the Creek School before undertaking training as a wireless operator. He was the first operator of the government wireless station at Stake Bay, which opened in 1936. He worked there until he married Audrey Foster in 1940 and moved to Trinidad, where he became wireless operator at the U.S. Naval Station. After the war, he served as ship's officer and master with several companies before retiring in 1968.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
As we ride the hamster wheel, scampering along the treadmill of living, we try to reset to this new normal, this new life. Where getting away is staying right here, where vacation is staycation, staying safe. where focus is surviving minutes, hours, days of anxiety. Step away and say hello to the latest exhibition of the National Gallery. Say hello to Alchemy by Cayman's premier sculptor, native son Horacio Esteban. Lose yourself in moments of geology meeting history, meeting botany, meeting zoology, meeting art, where Caymanite and coral and unearthed cedar of thousands of years strike a pose in art. Bring your family. Leave your stress at the doors. Wellness, renewal, mental peppermint. Alchemy at the National Gallery, supported by Rotary Central Community Service. Rotary opens opportunities.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more with huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We will have Mr. Alfonso Wright and Mr. Denniston Tibbetts in the studio with us after the 8 o'clock news. That will be around about 8:15 this morning. Meanwhile, I'm trying to share as much as I possibly can with you about other things. I will also read a WhatsApp message that was sent to me that says, "Good morning, Mr. Connor. On Heroes Seafarers Day, I was told that you were also a seaman. Is that information correct?" If you consider spending 9 months on an oil tanker being a seaman, then I guess yes. I saw it more as an experience for me. I saw it as fulfilling my rite of passage as a Caymanian. I enjoyed it. Took some, being 18 years of age, took some serious, foolish risks while out to sea as well. And one of those escapades was myself, along with two other of my friends, decided that we would swim after we finished our work. that we would swim from our ship to a buoy that was another ship was moored to, and we would swim back. Of course, when you're looking, the visuals made it, the distance appeared to be much shorter than it actually was. And when we actually reached our buoy, darkness came down on us, so it was difficult for us to swim back. And our crew members had to arrange for one of the local fishing boats, sort of like those canoes, to come and pick us up and take us back to the boat. Of course, the captain, the chief mate, rowed us up, for that. And the other interesting part of that was that night, because we had asked the local fishermen whether or not there were sharks in that water, and of course they said no. Whether or not they understood what we were saying or what, but they said no. And that night, the guys on board the ship always doing their fishing, and what did they catch? They caught a shark that night. So, I certainly enjoyed it, but I don't consider 9 months, at sea as being significant. So I wouldn't call myself, a seaman per se, and wouldn't want to seek any recognition as a seaman on that part. There are so many others who contributed so much more to the Cayman Islands by what they did to sea that I really would want to reserve the place for them, not for myself. Okay, I have about 4 minutes. I'm going to try to share as much of this with you as possible. This is a press release from the Health Services Authority, and it says that all of Stage 2 opens for COVID-19 vaccine. And it says that the Public Health Department has now extended the COVID-19 vaccine to all groups in Stage 1 and Stage 2 of the National Vaccination Program. The schedule from Thursday, the 25th of February, that is tomorrow, to Saturday, the 6th of March, has been revised to reflect these changes. And then they have sent the attached link before. And it goes on to say that persons in Stage 2, Group C, can now receive the vaccine at their allotted times, and they have attached a schedule for that. For surname assignments, and those are individuals living at home with persons from Stage 1 of the vaccine program. Stage 2, Group C, persons living with residents and staff of institutional facilities, healthcare workers and first responders, all frontline staff dealing with incoming travelers, adults 60 plus or with a relevant health status, workers essential to government continuity. Caymanians 60 years and older and any families living in multi-generational households are strongly encouraged to get the vaccine, said Dr. Hazel Brown, Health Services Authority Chief Nursing Officer. We still have vulnerable, elderly Caymanians in our community not yet vaccinated, and we ask these persons to come forward. Any homebound person unable to get to a clinic can contact our flu hotline to make arrangements for our public health nurses to administer the vaccine in your home. All persons 60 years and older are encouraged to get the vaccine and are able to do so at any of the times when the vaccination clinics are open. The COVID-19 vaccination program continues to administer dose 2 vaccines for persons due from Stage 1, Group A, B, and C. Persons who have received their first dose are reminded to get their second dose 21 days later or no longer than 12 weeks after the first dose during clinic times. And there's a sidebar to that about identification criteria, but we have to go to our 8 o'clock news. Hopefully I will get an opportunity to share that with you before the show is over. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back with Mr. Alfonso Wright and Mr. Denniston Tibbetts after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is $7.59.
At Foster's, we've been the leader in savings since 1980.
And in this week's specials catalog, you'll find Bakerly Sliced Brioche Bread, only $4.39 each. Save $2.
We also have Mars Ice Cream Novelties, 6-pack, just $3.99, save $2.60. And Frito-Lay's Sun Chips, 2 for $5, save $2.18 on 2.
Price is good until the 3rd of March, 2021. Find even more great specials in store or by visiting fosters.ky. Fosters, better prices because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended to 30th of June 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpensions.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Water Authority introduces a new statutory fee starting this month. Water Authority Director Dr. Julia Frederick Van Genderen.
The statutory functions of the Water Authority are critical to the protection of groundwater resources for present and future generations. By separating this fee from the current base rates, the authority can be transparent about the portion of water rate revenues that are used to fund these functions. Because the entire population has access to potable water, either from the pipeline or through trucked water, it is fair and equitable to cover the statutory fees from a fee charged on all water consumption.
The statutory fee will be reflected in the new charges in the consumption details section of their customer's bill. It's 22 cents per cubic meter and will be reflected on the bills only and not on sewerage and septic customers. In court Tuesday, Roger Ainsworth Smith appeared before Magistrate McFarland to answer to the charges of driving without insurance, failing to provide specimen breath and blood, and assaulting an officer. On June 19th, Roger Ainsworth Smith is accused of punching an officer in the line of duty on the Esterly-Tippett Highway. Later that same day, he allegedly refused to provide a specimen of breath and blood upon the officer's request at Fairbanks. The charge of insurance allegations were withdrawn. However, a trial will go forward on a charge of assaulting an officer. Mr. Smith pled guilty with explanation to the charge of failing to provide breath specimen, but pled not guilty to all others. The trial starts May 12th. And it's a one-stop shop for information on the Chamber of Commerce as they launch a new website. Here's Radio Cayman Shanda Gallego with more.
The Chamber has launched caymanchamber.ky, a new website that they say will be an incredibly useful resource for anyone wanting information on the Chamber and all the services it offers. In addition, they anticipate providing, quote, excellent up-to-date information on the wider Cayman community. Chamber CEO Will Pinot says the new website will serve a multitude of purposes. Users will get updates on the latest news or information on conferences, seminars, and events. Users will be able to search for who is a member of the Chamber and what services they have to offer. He explains not only will the website educate users as to the benefits of becoming a Chamber member and suite of signature events and programs that the Chamber runs, users will also have the chance to make the website their regular go-to when they were searching for updates on happenings and events. Other sections of the website are dedicated to advising about Chamber key issues and how people can get involved, as well as excellent member perks and their highly popular discount card. The website also offers easy online payments for all Chamber events, training and membership management, as well as a member directory, giving a comprehensive directory of businesses on all 3 islands. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith.
Ghana has become the first nation to receive a shipment from the international COVID vaccination drive, COVAX. The delivery of 600,000 AstraZeneca doses marks a milestone in the initiative to reduce the vaccine divide between rich and poor countries. But there is still concern that some developed nations are hoarding their stocks. A German court has delivered its verdict in the first case anywhere concerning state-sponsored torture by the government of Syria's President Bashar al-Assad. Ayad al-Gharib, a former member of the Syrian secret police, was convicted of complicity in crimes against humanity for sending demonstrators to a detention centre where he knew they would be tortured. He's been jailed for 4.5 years. Turkey says it has arrested a senior IS militant and freed a 7-year-old girl from the Yazidi ethnic minority who was being held captive. The raid was carried out in Ankara. The suspect is said to be a former Iraqi military officer. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has formally announced his country's intention to rejoin the UN Human Rights Council. Mr. Blinken acknowledged there were human rights failings in America, but said that as a democracy it was accountable. Hungary has started giving its citizens the Chinese Sinopharm COVID vaccine, the first EU country to do so. It's already using Russia's Sputnik V vaccine, which also awaits approval from Brussels. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers and the motoring public of planned works to upgrade the water supply infrastructure along Anthony Drive between the Smith Road and Andy Drive intersections. Works will begin on Monday, 8th February, and the project will last 6 to 8 weeks. Through the course of the work, customers in the area may experience service outages. The authority makes every effort to give advance notice related to outages. Customers can also visit our website, www.waterauthority.ky, for updates or tune into Radio Cayman for outage notices. Motorists are advised to avoid driving in the area between 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. weekdays during the works. If motorists must use the road, they are encouraged to drive with caution and follow all traffic signs to ensure their and the authority's staff's safety. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it undertakes these works and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
We, as Caymanians, live by our choices and by using our voice to bring about change. On April 14th, Cayman and Georgetown West holds the power to turn the page to a more hopeful, more empowered chapter in our country's leadership. My fellow Caymanians, my name is Perlina Magal-Lumsden, and I'm proud to be your candidate for Georgetown West. I hope that you will join our movement and use your voice to vote for me, a candidate that will work tirelessly to put you, your families, your education, your employment, and our environment first.
Celebrate Cayman invites you to the dedication and groundbreaking ceremony for Seafarers Park on Thursday, the 25th of February from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Come and join us and get a look at the vision and plans for the new Waterfront National Landmark.
Seafarers Park will serve as a site for us all to come together as a community in the heart of our capital.
Join in the celebrations at the dedication and groundbreaking ceremony for Seafarers Park at the former Tower Building site on Thursday, the 25th of February from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We hope to see you there.
We sailed on the sloop John B, my grandfather and me.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or email www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
A pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 84%. The barometric pressure 30.04 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-southeast at 3 knots. Overnight low temperature was 73. Synopsis indicate light to moderate easterly winds and slight seas are expected across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. As a high-pressure system over the western Atlantic Ocean moves east and weakens. Radar images show isolated showers over the Cayman area at this time. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of morning showers, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for fair to partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and temperatures falling to the low 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Today's high tide will occur in a few minutes at 8:21, low tide this afternoon at 2:30, and a high tide again tonight at 7:51. Sunset 6:28, sunrise 6:48. And the outlook is calling for a weak cold front over the Gulf of Mexico, is expected to dissipate west of the Cayman Islands, and for the associated high-pressure system, which is expected to lead to increased winds and rough seas from Thursday evening. That's the very latest on your weather report.
10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or email www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking. Change your life. Developing the giver's mindset can bolster any relationship.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, some of the biggest challenges in relationships come from the fact that most people enter a relationship in order to get something. They're trying to find someone who's going to make them feel good. In reality, the only way a relationship will last is if you see a relationship as a place that you go to give and not only a place that you go to take.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. Just past the Tomlinson roundabout, busy traffic on Shamrock Road as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Traffic also heavy. A lot of patience needed this morning and slight delays expected, but you're going to make it. Coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, traffic is also busy and steady traffic on Huldah Avenue. Light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive and traffic flowing pretty good on Godfrey Nixon Way and Easton Avenue, and in and out of Georgetown on Shedden Road looking pretty good as traffic is flowing at a good pace. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. Steady traffic coming off of Esther Tibbetts Highway and heading towards the Butterfield roundabout. On North Sound Road, moderate flow of traffic, some sections steady. That's the very latest on your traffic. If you've seen accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman 949-6990. That's the very latest on your traffic, and click it or ticket. Have a good morning.
Now you'll never have to choose between two desserts at Subway. The new caramel brownie cookie is two treats in one. Imagine sweet, gooey caramel with decadent chocolate chunks baked in brownie-flavored dough and topped with a light drizzle of caramel icing. And you have the new caramel brownie cookie, available at Subway. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious caramel brownie cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert. Available at all Subway locations. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
As we ride the hamster wheel, scampering along the treadmill of living, we try to reset to this new normal, this new life. Where getting away is staying right here. Where vacation is staycation, staying safe. Where focus is surviving minutes, hours, days of anxiety. Step away and say hello to the latest exhibition of the National Gallery. Say hello to Alchemy by Cayman's premier sculptor, native son Horacio Esteban. Lose yourself in moments of geology meeting history, meeting botany, meeting zoology, meeting art. Where Caymanite and coral and unearthed cedar of thousands of years strike a pose in art. Bring your family. Leave your stress at the doors. Wellness, renewal, mental peppermint. Alchemy at the National Gallery, supported by Rotary Central Community Service. Rotary opens opportunities.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. And as promised, we have in the studio the president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, Mr. Denniston Tibbetts, and executive chair of Celebrate Cayman, Mr. Alfonso Wright. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Morning, OC. Happy to be here. Yeah. Thanks for inviting us back in. It's always good to be here to share the good news about what's happening with the year of the Seafarer. I know we're celebrating our seafaring heritage this year. And back on National Heroes Day, the Honorable Premier announced that they were designating a park in honor of our seafarers. Mm-hmm. And so the former Tower Building site was designated as such, and we're working towards the groundbreaking ceremony for that tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. So we're here to talk about that a little bit, but also to speak about seafaring in general and all the plans that we have, coming up for the year ahead. One of the things that happened on the 3 National Heroes Day that we had in January was the awarding of seafarers, but seafarers who had made significant achievements, either in accomplishments as moving up the ladder to captains, chief engineer, and long service, and so on, and the people who assisted seafarers in the early days, but also there are a lot of other able-bodied seafarers who we could not capture on that day simply because of time. But also, OC, we've also realized that a lot of our seafarers are not members of the Seafarers Association. And we want to capture those before we move into the districts to award the additional seafarers. So that is our big job now when we're actually working with E-Services government, Mr. Ian Tibbetts and his team, to build a database and a website for us to be able to capture those individuals, so that when we go out and start awarding the other seafarers, that we would have done our best to capture as many of them as possible.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning, Mr. Tibbetts. Good to have you again.
Anything to do with seafarers, I'll be around. Unfortunately, a lot of people, this is kind of by the way, but a lot of people don't know that it's the whole year, not just one on occasion. And I had somebody call me, and somebody I know quite well, and she spoke about somebody who was near and dear to me too, and she flew into me like, well, how come so-and-so didn't get so? And I'm saying, well, haven't you listened to the news or read the paper? No, I don't do that. Well, talk to Fonzo. He's the man who's doing the district days, So that kind of calmed her down. But my boy, I was taken aback.
Yeah, as small as we are, it's difficult at times getting information. You get it out there, but somehow people don't receive it, or they don't listen, they don't read. Sometimes, a lot of times too, they listen to a portion of the message and they get what they want to hear, and they don't listen to the rest of it. But yes, the building of the database will take a couple of months before we get it to where it'll be available so that the general public can log on to it and search for their loved ones or their seafaring family members. And if they're not there, they can insert them in there. If the information is not correct, they can update it. Now it's not a live update. So they would put the information in, and those who are monitoring the website in the background will go and check that and verify it before it's accepted into the system. So OC, you would be able to go there and search for your dad. And if he is not there, then you can put him in. But if you look at his records and it said that he started going to sea from 1948, but you knew it was 1946 and the ship that he was on, you can then add that information in there so that we keep updating the records and making sure that we capture everything that we want in there. There's also a provision in there that will be in there, OC, that it would ask you questions like, for instance, who else from Cayman did you sail with? And you may put in a name that that's not in the system yet. and that would prompt us to then start doing research and on that person, so that in this way we are kind of catching everybody.
Yes, by cross-referencing. Yes.
Right, as well.
Well, what we've been doing is to tell people that there's still time to nominate, as Fonzo said, and we've been getting quite a few to the seafarers, and the office manager there will distribute that, to the various government agencies. It's quite alarming. Some of the people whose father or brother or cousin have been deceased, they believe that seafarers are supposed to have all the information, and we don't. I mean, if you're not a member of the Seafarers Association, how in God's name can we find, But some people think that we should, because we're Seafarers Association, but that's not how it works.
Mr. Fonzo, any additional initiatives that have been undertaken to get information from people in the district?
Well, this is what the database is going to be about. So when we bring that live, that people can then go on and do that, we are also going to go to the districts, go to people. I had a conversation with Mr. Banks when I left there on Monday. Remember, you left me and him talking, and he indicated to me that he and a few other fellow West Bayers are getting together in a community effort to see if they can record, as many as they can to help us with this effort. And I thought it was a brilliant idea. People like him. I think he mentioned Captain Owen Farrington as another person he was working with. And so that gave us an idea that we're going to try to do that same thing with other districts, so we can get little groups within each district who could sit down and talk and put names together. And that I think will go a very long way, because people at that age, will have a good memory of way back when and who they knew that went to sea. So what we hope or see is, for instance, if there's an event somewhere, we can set up a booth with registration forms and stuff and get people to come register, let us know, or even things like they get information, go and sit down in front of a supermarket on a Saturday, and people shopping and stuff, and saying, are you sure that all of your relatives are registered? Here's a form. You want us to sit here and help you fill it out? That sort of initiative is what we can have to do that. We go and knock on doors. Yeah. Somebody may say, well, Miss Jean from so and so, she had 4 brothers and father and grandfather went to sea, but she don't get out anymore. So if you can go and talk to her, so we can do whatever we have to do to get it done.
And another resource that I could suggest also, and I've shared with you the electronic copies of the Trade Winds newspaper that I have, but every district reporter in those Trade Winds newspaper, because those days you looked for the news, there wasn't a whole lot of news happening. So you had reporters who were at the airport, or the family members would tell them when family members are either going or when they have come. And there are lots of articles in there. This morning, browsing through it, and I won't call the family name, but I saw death anniversary that was posted in the Trade Winds newspaper from a woman and her 2 children for the loss of her husband at sea on national bulk. Yes. So things like that, are in there as well. Yeah. We do have a caller, but before we go to the caller, because we'll only have about a minute before we take a commercial break, just want to ask Mr. Tibbetts, we know that the Brits, the English, were sticklers for record keeping as far as it came to government. And we know in 1972 what happened with the government house at that point. Yeah. But the telegrams and stuff like that used to come in looking for crew for ships, and sometimes individual names would be on there to say, we want these individuals. Do we have any records of those? Does the Panton family or anyone have any records of those?
In the archives, the archives have a lot of them, but unfortunately, they don't allow us to take anything else. So we have to go there and physically write them down or take pictures. They won't allow us to take the records out.
Okay.
But I tell you...
But your resources for doing that are limited in terms of the staff that you have. Is it anything that the government could do to provide funding for a researcher to go in there to get on? Because this is our history. This is our history. Our history cannot be the slave walls, even though that's part of it. But it shouldn't be just the slave walls and the buildings that were built, the town halls and stuff like that. This is the seafaring is the defining moment and the defining industry for the Cayman Islands, and we have to take it more seriously than we have in the past. Now we're doing that, but funding from the government, for that would help.
Last week Friday, Miss Gwen Bush's, what would that be now? Her daughter-in-law. Mm-hmm. I did not know that Consuelo lived with her at her and John's house for 11 years, and she brought a whole stack. You know that book called Southwell Years. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All of the it's unbelievable. All of the correspondence that Consuelo did with the various governors and district people, and it's just amazing. I mean, it's a whole stack of and I put them in our little museum that we have. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's things like that are real. But my niece also works at the archives. Okay. My sister's daughter, and she's been very helpful. But the rules that they have, they have to follow. So maybe your idea about a government-funded researcher to do a proper, I tell you who's good at researching is Antonio Hawkins. I mean, he goes to the Sea Scouts. Oh my!
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we do have a caller and hold caller. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will take 2 calls, I'm told now. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Commencement at the University College of the Cayman Islands is being moved to spring, in line with more traditional practices in other countries. The spring date will allow graduating students to be a part of the university's celebration of their accomplishments. UCCI's 2021 commencement ceremony will be on Saturday, the 24th April 2021, 7:30 p.m. at Sir Vassal Johnson Hall. Application deadline for graduating students to apply for graduation will be Friday, the 12th of March 2021. For all of the information on commencement 2021 and to access the graduation form, you can visit www.ucci.edu.ky/graduation.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
It is truly important to our country that the voices of all the people in the Cayman Islands are heard on Election Day. Your vote counts.
April 14th, 2021.
Exercise your democratic right and vote. A public service announcement from your #1 community station, Radio Cayman.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the President of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, Mr. Denston Tibbetts, and Executive Chair of Celebrate Cayman, Mr. Alfonso Wright. Two callers. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Jose. Good morning, Alfonso. And good morning, my good captain of the Seamen's up there, Mr. Tibbetts.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been talking about it to people that I hope that someday do this, but the one thing you're talking about seamen, and we talk about heroes and stuff like that, but Mr. Andrew Powery, and every time I hear the story about what he did back in those days when they were turtling out there and how this hurricane came and people thought everybody was lost, and somehow he swam I don't know how many miles getting sea eggs and getting cut off reefs and stuff, like he made it to where they could, they knew that these people were safe. What I'm saying is, to me, I don't think it's any of the people that who got the hero thing did what he did. And I wonder why he hasn't got a statue or something in his, I understand that he made some mention of it, but I think out there in Hero Square, he should be one of those with a thing of him in there. I don't know if that's possible, but I think it has to, be looked at, because to me, he's a hero. Is a hero, no question about it.
His Mr. Loxley has an interview with him, and he told the whole story. I think it was 22 miles that he swam over reefs and, like you said, sea eggs and all that, and he suffered for a long time after that because of all these sea eggs in his feet.
Yep.
But it's something to consider, and maybe Alfonso can take it to the powers that be in government. That's not for me.
Well, national heroes are under the purview of cabinet only. And I know that the name has come up many times for many years now, and nothing has happened. Just as well as the name for Miss Leela Ross Shire had been mentioned many times over many years, and finally, after perseverance for a lot of people, one of them is my good buddy right here, Mr. Connor, who agitated, and I think that things like this, sometimes it takes a little while, but eventually it reaches the right ear, and they do something about it.
So technically, he's not forgotten. He's not been forgotten.
No.
Okay, excellent. Let's grab caller. I want to thank you very much for that. Next caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. Okay. Meanwhile, we have a question. It says, good morning. Do the seafarers have to wear their shirts or just a regular T-shirt tomorrow at the groundbreaking ceremony?
What do you mean a regular T-shirt?
Polo shirt.
Polo. Seafarers polo shirts, yeah.
Okay, so the seafarers polo shirt. I'll respond to that WhatsApp message. Let's try the caller again. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Just a quick two things. I want to acknowledge that I was pleased with the Heroes Day celebration. My father was honored, and I think it was well done. My own observation was that we had a number of persons who could have fit two categories, and in his instance, while he fit the category of pioneer, he also fit the category where he could have gone on the memorial scroll because he died as a result of asbestosis, having acquired that, being on the national bulk carrier ship. So that would have been my only observation, that we should have also recognized those gentlemen who actually lost their life as a result of going to sea, because that's a significant loss on the family and those individuals who suffered for a long, long time with conditions that they acquired at sea. And I know he's not the only one. So that would be something I think that the committee could look further into because it would signify also that they didn't just go to sea, but their entire life was given up as a result of going to sea, food, health-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is, I was just wondering if we were able to acquire any of the photographs that had been taken at any of the installation ceremonies where in the different districts, because I've had a number of persons ask if I can get information, and I said I heard you all on the radio, so I said this would be a good opportunity to find out.
Thanks, Deidre. I want to acknowledge and agree with you on your first point, and that one of the criteria as it was described, for the categories that were awarded was that any seafarer who lost their life at sea or because of going to sea. So yes, your dad could have been recognized, and that is probably something we can look at, because we do take exactly what you said into consideration. They may not have died at sea, but they died as a result of going to sea. And
the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. So I don't know if that was widely known at the time that was a cause of his death. I'm not sure. But it is something that we can still manage. And I believe that the photos took a while getting into us, but I think that they are available now. I will check on that and report back at a later stage as to how people can access those. But the photos are now back to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate that.
Caller, but before you go, I just want to say, yesterday, again, scrolling through the Tradewinds newspaper, found an article on your dad when he was appointed as the port director, as well. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, there's a lot to history, and it was so funny because not just before, 2 years before he died, I said to him, Daddy, I need to have you write your story. And he thought, I'm to write my story. I said, yes. Nobody else can write your story.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, we write our own stories. Tell your own story. And he sat and he wrote by hand in script, in that seaman script, I call it, because I'm sure all the seamen have that identical type script, because most of y'all were taught at sea. And he was able to go all the way back to the 1950s when he left, 1950-something when he started, and chronologically detail different things that happened throughout his journey at sea, and the feelings he had, and the sadness, and the joy, and all of that apprehension that came with that. And we hadn't had a chance prior to that to listen to that story, and I used it to create his obituary per se. And I was
a lot of history was in that, Deidre.
And I just want to say to families, for those of you who have your parents, especially the fathers who went to sea and the mothers who stayed at home and ran this country while they were at sea, get your stories written down, because when they're gone, there's nobody to tell that story.
Yeah,
but them.
You're absolutely right, Deidre, and I'm asking if you can share that with us, because this is the type of information that we want to build in our database. That one of the features of the park will be a wall of honor, so to speak, but it will be a digital wall. So if you went there to that wall and you look up, Mrs. Samuel Jackson, it could tell you his story. Mm-hmm. And so unless people submit the information to us, we can't share it. So if your family would permit, I would ask that you share that information with us.
One of the, I was privileged to do a tribute to Sammy, who was my first cousin, at both, because he was church there, then he was church again in the Brack. So I did a tribute both times. But the most important, or it was kind of comical, but it was true, was when he was coming off of the bluff, when somebody had got the message that he had been called to go to sea.
He got his call.
Mm-hmm. He got his call, and while he was coming down off the bluff, so, Mr. Sammy, you got a call to go to sea. Wow. To me, that was fantastic.
Yeah. Caller, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you all too for what you're doing. Okay. I think it's really, really important for this country what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Susan, we have enough time to grab another caller before we go to the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Great work as always, preserving our future, our history.
Thank you.
Just a quick question though about the present and the future of seafaring. If I ask 100 high school students who is Consuelo, I would say 95% or more would not even know who she is, or some of the other famous names from our heritage, the shipbuilders, the captains. So why I say that is because it's great that you guys are doing an excellent job of preserving the history and keeping it active in years such as this especially. But it's still not seeping down into the essence of the people, because every country knows every child from America, Jamaica, Canada, anywhere, they can name their heroes, their not just folk heroes, but their General Custer and Abraham Lincoln. I mean, they can speak about their heroes, but we still haven't instilled it really in our people. And of course, that translates into people coming here and thinking that Cayman was a barren rock before 1995 or 1990 when they showed up. But we really have to do a better job, I think, of getting it either into the curriculum or into the media, into the, Pirates Week songs don't have to be only about pirates. We can talk about seafaring as well.
Well, actually, if I could interject.
Yes, sir.
I have had the opportunity to do a presentation to one of the classes at the high school, so it's left now for the people in the ministry to put it on a curriculum. But I have done that, and I have educated them as far, what you can do in an hour. But certainly your suggestion is quite relevant, and it should be done.
I can add to that. Again, these things take time, and far too long we have simply let things like this slide by and not show any pride in our heritage and our culture and the things that made us who we are today. And things are beginning to happen now. There's an awareness that has been created, and everybody is feeling the need to do something. And when we made our presentation on the database and the website that we're building and Seafarers Park to Cabinet, the Minister for Education was there, and she committed to moving this forward, that their seafaring heritage becomes a part of our curriculum. And understand that these things like this take time to build it in, because curriculum is full. And when you bring something new in, you got to shift something around or take something out, kind of thing. So it's not an easy thing to just simply say we're going to drop it into the curriculum.
Okay.
But at least it's being talked about now, and somebody's working on it. So
excellent. Yeah. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. We have to go to a commercial break. We have 3 callers on hold as well. When we return, we're going to ask each caller to please be as brief as possible, because we want to take as many calls as we can this morning. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vamps Motors on Walkers Road.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
Why work with a Sariba agent? We can tell you that those letters represent a proven understanding of the real estate market in the Cayman Islands. But it also means so much more than that. Our trained Sariba agents are committed to ethics, integrity, and excellence of practice. It's all about confidence, knowing you are working with a qualified Sariba agent. As members of Sariba, your trust is our promise. To find a Sariba agent today or to search thousands of listens, visit Sariba.com. Sariba, the mark of excellence in real estate.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Mr. Alfonso Wright, Executive Chair of Celebrate Cayman, President of the Seafarers Association, Mr. Denston Tibbetts. 3 callers. We ask you to please be as brief as possible. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning.
Good morning, Osi.
Good morning.
Good morning to you and your panel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Osi, I'm calling for 2 things this morning. The first thing, I'd like to congratulate your panel members there for the way in which they take their roles, individual roles, so serious, and it's commendable to listen to them and hear the way in which they go about putting these putting Cayman and the seafaring in perspective. I promise you, Osi, that I was going to call you back after I had my second dose.
Oh yes.
Vaccine. I was privileged to getting that second dose by the great Miss Hazel Brown.
Okay.
She's an artist, to the least. She taught me something. I was when I was about to get it, I was a little bit tense. She said, "No. You know, she expressed herself quite good. She said, "Oh no, don't tense up. Relax your muscle." I relaxed, and and when she said it was done, I said, "Already?" I didn't feel it, and I'm to tell you that I will tell you another thing about it is that I didn't feel it. I didn't feel no adverse effects after, and I would encourage Eric Caymanian to go and get their vaccination done, because when I was going to the airport center, I counted. I know it had to be 40 Filipinos coming from getting theirs. So if the Caymanians not going to get it, the first thing you see they're going to do is they're going to sit there and say, "Oh well, this, that, and the other." The foreigners are getting it. Well, if the foreigners can get it, you won't go and take it. When the foreigners can get it, well, it's tough. But anyway, we'll see. It was a pleasant experience, and
good to know.
I on Monday, and I am all tickety-boo. So I just thought I'd inform you that.
Excellent. Thanks for the positive feedback as well. And I trust and I hope that people are listening and that it will encourage more and more people to get vaccinated as well. Thank you very much. Caller. Next caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Will encourage.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Welcome to For the Record.
A person is listening to your radio, Miss Susan. Let's go to the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was myself. I'm not quite sure. I just wanted to say great job to the persons promoting the heritage of the Cayman Islands to celebrate Cayman and the Seafarers Association. Just wanted to put this tidbit out there because I'm not sure if people are aware of it, but there is a citizenship curriculum that was developed, I think, in 2002 and 2003 by members of the teaching profession from various levels. So there is a citizenship curriculum which can be used, which can be further developed to get things about our culture into the school system from elementary all the way up to high school. There is something that has been developed already. I know so because I was a part of that. And I think it's something that we need to revive. It's something that we need to look at again and see if we can get that implemented more than it already is into our system. Because like the caller before you went to break said, every other country knows quite a bit about their cultural background, their historical background, but we tend to not focus on that enough in our system. And we do have a curriculum that has enabled us, or should enable us, to actually teach citizenship education, cultural education throughout all of the subjects, including math, English, science, everything. So maybe
if I could interject there, that is fine, but the onus has to be on the schools. When I was answering that question, I said I had been to one, and then after I remembered that Clifton Hunter requested me and my panel to be there on 2 different occasions, Truth for Youth on 2 different occasions, and the John Gray High School on 1 occasion. So there has been some goal that they have set, but I can't just go without being invited, you know?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is the onus shouldn't be on you. The onus should be on the system itself to collect the information from you, to put it in a way, or to help put it in a way that it can be presented at the different levels. So it shouldn't be the one-off class or the one-off school. It should be something that's there all the time, whether it's you or anyone else making that presentation.
Yeah, I agree.
Provided in a way that the teachers themselves can present it in the class in an everyday session. Not just a special thing.
Well, on those occasions, I've also left with them 2 or 3 copies of the book, The Southwell Years, and it's a treasure of information.
I'm sure that it is, but I'm just saying that we do have a curriculum that it can be further developed and utilized. A lot of the information that we have out there, but just put it in a way that it can be taught from elementary all the way up to high school. Have a good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. I believe we can grab another caller before we go to our 8 o'clock news. Caller, good morning.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock headline news. Sorry, way behind. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Right. Yeah, I guess I should say quite a interesting, not day, but quite an interesting year this year, the year of the seaman. A caller before that was speaking about, we call him Captain P, Captain Andrew Powery. I fully support that we should have nothing less than Captain Powery statue into that Hero Square in Georgetown. I had the pleasure of talking with him several times, and I remember one day he took off his shoe and was showing me all the scars that he had on his feet swimming in those pond shoals in the reef, and what he has went through in his hands. I mean, it was so hurtful in to endure all of the things that he went through. So I don't think that we should take this so lightly. I think that he should really be into that Hero Square. And secondly, just a quick note, because I guess time is not on my side, but if it's going to be the opening of the groundbreaking of the Seaman's Park tomorrow, I said in the midday show yesterday, I hope in the future it would not just be a park, but it will be some sort of a building established there that we can utilize for different things, including things like a Seaman's Institute, which is very important in Turtle Island. All the other places have one. I don't see why we can't have one. And it's much more I want to say, but I'm not able to say it here this morning because I guess you want to take as many calls as possible. But
you can call back, caller. Certainly, we're going to be here for another hour.
I trust that you will be there because there's a lot of information that we can gather by just being there. Because there'll be a copy of the proposed usage of the park. So they're inviting people to give them ideas.
Okay. Yeah. So, caller, please feel free to call back. If, like I said, we're going to be here for another hour, folks. Top of the hour, headline news, 9 o'clock. Please stay tuned for the record with Mr. Alfonso Wright, and Mr. Denniston Tibbetts will continue shortly.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 505 COVID-19 tests on Tuesday. All were negative. So far, 20,468 vaccines have been administered locally, with more than 7,700 people completing the 2-dose course. Ghana has become the very first country to receive coronavirus vaccines through the COVAX Vaccine Sharing Initiative. The World Health Organization program aims to ensure that vaccines are shared fairly among all nations. COVAX is aiming to deliver about 2 billion doses of the vaccines globally by the end of the year. And Tiger Woods is, quote, awake and responsive following surgery on serious leg injuries suffered in a car crash in Los Angeles on Tuesday. The 15-time golf major champion had to be extricated from the wreck by firefighters and paramedics. The American suffered open fractures affecting the tibia and fibula bones in his lower right leg, stabilized by inserting a rod into the tibia. A deputy from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department who was on the scene of the accident said Woods is, quote, fortunate to be alive. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Mr. Denniston Tibbetts, the president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is the executive chair of Celebrate Cayman. We're talking about the groundbreaking ceremony for the Seafarers Park tomorrow at 4 o'clock. But we're also engaging in conversation about seafaring in general and the continuous effort now to recognize our seamen, our seafarers, and those who supported them, not only the men but the women as well, and give them their rightful place in Cayman's history. And it shouldn't be a memory just in our minds, but it needs to be documented for future generations as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Extremely thankful, sir. Good morning, Captain Denniston.
Good morning, young man.
And good morning.
Good morning.
To the overseer there.
Okay. Good morning. What do you have to tell us? What do you have to tell us, sir?
Okay, coming up with it, man. Speaking of these, James Sterling Bank, you better know it, Jimmy. Get that straight. Speaking of these start using thing, if we notice it, Caymanians were never people that wanted to be worshipped. The trade, we got a song going about every place you go in certain countries, or you see start you here, start you there, start you there. We don't need that kind of crap here. We need representatives. You can speak about us. Not everybody wants to be a public thing. they like what they do. They love it. Everybody that they know them. We are acquainted. Okay. And speaking of the seamen, I'm not a direct member of the association, but I am one of them seamen. I go to the meeting. Not everyone I can get to, but I go. And Denston is doing a very good job at what he do. Very, very good job. He's a man you can talk to. You know what I mean? Have a laugh. We throw in some humor and whatnot. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, you're quite welcome, sir. He's also born in March, too, which is next month now, please God. Very nice guy.
Me and my two brothers are all fishes, Pisces.
I know, include me.
Yeah, I know.
I spoke to Denson a while back and gave him a little information as how to do this thing too. You know, get in touch with Gerlo.
I have done that. It just hasn't been. I haven't been able to get the three of them together, but I have done that. I have spoken to all three of them.
I know you can do that, man. With Gerlo, Rayburn, and Ori, because they're getting kind of down, not sickly, but I mean up in age, or not down in age. And they would tell their story. Just give them a few dollars, make them enjoy themselves. You know what I mean? Get them three together. That's the most how you gonna enjoy the thing. They gonna be talking to each other. You wanna listen? And you're gonna get the kick of the story like that.
Well, I've spoken to each of them individually, and there's a lot of information from all of them, but I haven't been able to arrange. I've told them what I want to do on your suggestion, but I need to get the archives involved so that they, or the museum, one of them, to actually record it.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, I know what you do. I say you captain of that thing, so you got it.
Caller? Gerlo, Ori, and who was the third person?
Rayburn.
Rayburn. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. Denson, whenever you're ready, let me know. I can help you with that.
Okay.
Okay. We have a.
But I have spoken to all three of the individuals already.
Okay, but I can help you with the connection over at the archives to get the recording.
Sounds
done.
good. We'll leave that to you, both of you, to get that together. Let's grab the next caller. We want to thank that caller as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. I want to pick up on the educational process there that somebody mentioned a while ago.
Okay.
I think that is long overdue, and it should not be any further delays in some degree of implementation of that process within the curriculum. I'd say over the last 20 years, we've done probably upward of maybe 125, 150 visits to the school. That is the Catboat Club. And the interest is there, I think, amongst the youngsters. And I think all needs to be done is to get the information to their sphere and let them observe it. But if that aspect is not followed up quickly, you know, I think the whole thing is going to get buried so deep that nobody will be able to resurrect it. So I know Fonzo will follow that up, or Dennis done there, hopefully. But, you know, you've heard the same thing, I think, that Fonzo made reference before 4 or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and nothing seems to happen. So unless the old people say somebody put their foot down, and, you know.
Well, Mr. Loxley, Fonzo did answer the question and saying that the Minister of Education was at the caucus and she promised to look into it. But I can tell you that, I just reiterate what I said before, some of the schools have asked me to come in, and I have been there. As a matter of fact, after my presentation, I usually have a few questions, and the children are very, very attentive, and they answer quite. I mean, everybody puts up their hand, you know, and you have to pick which one. And so it goes very far what they ask me to do. But I think if it's included as a part of their curriculum, it'll be even better. You know?
That is the point, because I mean, I think the general public or the general community have been doing this over the years. Rena Jefferson and I and Curtis, we've done quite a number of visits to schools talking about various subjects and seafarers and maritime history and so forth and so on. And the interest is there, but it has to be, and it has to go in from the bottom, right?
I think the caller, one caller, a previous caller spoke about it, and I think what she was trying to get across is really in terms of making it a part of the curriculum. We need to look at our curriculum to see whether or not what this part of it, whether or not it's social studies or history or whatever, whether or not it's geared towards the Cayman Islands, or is it geared towards passing an examination, an external examination that has been set. So do we want to program, or may not be a good word, term to use, program our students' minds towards, local and their history, or is it towards just getting an education? So getting it documented. There are schools where certain books are required required. You have to read it. You have to take a course in it in order for you to complete your degree or whatever. And maybe those are things that we need to look at. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. We're going to grab the next caller before we go to a commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, OC. This is Curtis Barnett here.
Good morning. Good morning. Barnett.
Good morning.
A little while ago, someone called about Mr. Andrew Powery. So I just wanted to let you all know, Dennis, and if you're ready for me again, you remember the reading I did on the Young Cook?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I do.
Well, I just completed a mini epic on the feats I call it the heroic feats of Andrew Powery. All right, that's a new one that I just completed 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And so if you ever want me to do a reading anywhere, it doesn't have to be at there.
I'll give you a call and we can discuss.
All right, now this one's a little less than half of what I did before, so it will not. It's only 19 pages.
Only. Well, I'm sure you're aware that the average year of the seafarer that attend the meetings there, who members, is like between 75 and 80. And the attention span is kind of short. So the shorter that you can condense it goes across better.
Mm-hmm. Caller, do you make that available publicly, or is it then shared with the seafarers so if someone wanted to read it, that it's there for them?
We're looking at that possibility. Mm-hmm. What the seafarers did before was give me 15-20 minutes each stint, and it went on for.
Yeah, I think it was four sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But on that, there were certain aspects of what you were talking about that people remembered. Like certain names that you call go into to the turtling grounds and all that, and people say, "Oh yeah, I remember that," and blah blah blah. So it did go across, but the attention span was kind of limited sometimes with some of the people.
Yeah, if I can say that, I think that things like the stories that we get from time to time, that we have the oral stories, and things like what Mr. Barnett does, I think is a beginning of what a lot of us need to start doing, but we need to be able to share these stories. And my boss, Mr. Samuel Rose, suggested that maybe we could have a discussion with people like Mr. Barnett, mm-hmm. and have develop some audio books.
Okay. Yeah.
With these stories, that people can listen to, the way that he tells a story, and so that you can share that, via internet or however you want to do it. Because the more we hold on to information,
mm-hmm.
We know a lot of it is out there, but we got to put it in forms that we can share it. Because if people don't have access to it, it don't,
lost.
It's lost anyway. So although you do sit down and write a story or put it together, we need to make sure that it's shared with the populace.
And there's so many platforms that it can be shared on.
Right now
it's
unlimited.
If we can circulate fake news so much, then we can certainly circulate real history, true history.
Right, and I think there's a lot of people who will. The point that Mr. Dennison made should not be lost. People are very busy nowadays, and their attention span. I know for me, if you send me an email, the first thing I do is I go to the bottom, see how long it is, and I know how much time. I'm sorry, but if it's a short message, I will sit and read it. But if it's not, I can put it off for another time. And sometimes you don't get back to it. So we have to be mindful of that. But a story is a story. So it's not always a short one.
Dr. Barnett, I want to thank you very much for that. We're going to have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
The Cayman Islands Agriculture Society is pleased to announce the end of February festivities. Kids Night Out, Parents Night Off at the Pavilion on Friday, February 26th from 6 until 10 p.m. Only $15 per child, including refreshments and activities. And on Saturday, February 27th, see the return of the new Market at the Pavilion from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. Local food, crafts, meats, produce, clothing, live music, activities for the kids, a chance to win a cow for only $25 a ticket, gate prices, and much, much more. Entry only $2. Children under 13 are free. Take in all of the fun of the annual Cayman Islands Agriculture Show, but a wee bit smaller, at the Stacy Watler Pavilion in Lower Valley. Visit the newly launched website www.345agriculture.com to RSVP for our event.
Getting vaccinated is an important part of keeping our islands protected against COVID-19. All persons who are scheduled to be vaccinated must present a photo ID which shows you are legally and ordinarily resident in the Cayman Islands or have permission to stay for 6 months or more. Accepted IDs include a Cayman Islands driver's license, passport or voter's card, a global citizen's certificate, a work permit grant letter, extension letter or job letter from a local company, or a non-Caymanian passport which shows the holder has been landed with permission to be on island for 6 months or more. Essential workers must also present their work ID to show proof of employer. Anyone who has already received a first dose may still receive the second and must show their vaccination card. For more information on the vaccine program, visit www.hsa.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record. with Orit Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Mr. Denniston Tibbetts, President of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is the Executive Chair of Celebrate Cayman. We're talking about groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow, 4 o'clock for Seafarers Park. Earlier, you heard in the commercial about the vaccine, and I just want to share this with you very quickly again to remind you that the airport vaccination center is open today for Group 1 and Group 2, A and B, with the surname A to H. Group 1 and 2, A and B, surname A to H. And remember, if you're over age 60 or over, then you can go at any time to get your vaccination as well. Some of our listeners want to know what they should look forward to tomorrow at the groundbreaking ceremony. What can you share with us now? And of course, if there are any surprises, they'll have to come to see the surprises.
Well, there are always surprises, but OC, it is a groundbreaking ceremony. There's going to be a few very short speeches, of course. There's going to be the conceptual drawings that we have developed so far for the plan. And when I say conceptual, I mean conceptual. It's not there are things that we have on there as a wish list right now, and some of those things may change by the time we get to the final product. But at least we needed somewhere to start, and now we start the conversation primarily within the Seafarers Association for ideas and stuff from them. We didn't have a whole lot of time to sit down and go into to details with them, or we wouldn't have got it to the stage where we can do a groundbreaking tomorrow. But it's, like I say, a few short speeches, so people will be able to see the plans, what we have there so far, and be able to talk about it, to converse. It's going to be a little bit of refreshments and stuff afterwards. I want to say to people that the way that the ground is situated out there now, there will be a limited amount of parking, so some people can get in there to park. So you should come early if you want to do that. We'll have parking attendants there to assist with that. But it's we have it scheduled from 4 to 6. We want to start on time, and you want to be able to ask questions and sit and kind of mingle with your fellow seafarers. And we hope to be able to organize a few storytelling sessions after the formalities are over, which should last about 45 minutes. So we should have about an hour and 15 minutes or so that we can sit and just converse.
Okay.
And have some of the old seafarers tell their stories.
Right. On Monday, you mentioned additional transport by parking elsewhere and being transported there. Is that still going to be available as well?
That still is the case. We encouraging people to carpool. We know that parking is limited, so I would suggest that we fill the seats in every vehicle, park somewhere else. And like I said, now there's parking. When we were talking on Monday, we didn't know that we were going to get parking in there, but we get some parking inside. Okay. The seafarers have organized themselves. We gave them two choices. One was to drive to the Seafarers headquarters and park there, and then have a bus bring them into town or into the cricket field. And Mr. Dennison has said that they have all selected to drive to the cricket field, and we pick them up there and take them to the site by
It'll
bus.
be like a shuttle service,
right? So we will go ahead and have that organized, but it's open for one and all. We want to encourage people to come down. We'll have a few refreshments and stuff afterwards. So it's 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. All the former Tower Building site, come out and let's have a good evening and see the groundbreaking ceremony for what is to be a green area. But while it's going to be interactive and so on, somebody called and talked about some sort of institute and stuff for seafarers. I that's all well and good, and I believe that all the things like that are necessary. But we also are lacking badly in green spaces within Georgetown. We have too many concrete edifices now, and too many parking spaces with concrete and asphalt, and we need to try to get away from all of that now, and work on. We're just beginning here. The things that he mentioned, I think, is a good idea. We need to work towards that in the future. But for now, this site is to be left in its natural green, as much as we possibly can, with quite a few interactive pieces in there that signifies and tells a story about our seafaring heritage.
Okay, we have 2 callers. Let's see if we can grab both before our next commercial break. If not, we will take one. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, sir. Go right ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Ossie. I didn't know if I was on or not. Good morning, President Seafarers, Mr. Tibbetts. Good morning.
Good morning,
wonderful
Mr. Hurlstone.
Here on your part.
Thank you,
what
sir.
You're all doing. And I'd just like to say with the education bit, a lot of school children over 15 years almost have been at Pedro St. James as a tour guide, or St. James at Pedro, we should really call it. That a lot of school children come to me over the years, it's got to be thousands, and I try to acquaint them with our seafaring heritage first of all, and let them know that's what is the basic building blocks of everything that they see, because young people really know nothing about it. I have to be very, very factual, realistic. And again, one of the main problems is we're trying to satisfy 130-something cultures here now, and many of them are not tuned into that. And that's the problem. My father was one that transcended and excelled in every aspect of our seafaring heritage. I can emphasize that again, every aspect of it. The turtling, building boats, rigging them, sailing them, building several big yawls for himself, and then building several in Jamaica and teaching navigation there and teaching very basic seamanship, everything. And went right into the motor vessel era with many. It would take me hours to try to tell you many. And many of these things are forgotten in seafaring repertoire here, because it's recent history. It's just 80 years ago and so forth, 80 and 80 odd years, and we're forgetting these things already. It's really very hurtful, I can tell you the truth. So men like Captain Bonnie Dixon, my father's great friend, and all that, we never hear mention of their names, and Captain Tidyman, and many, many more, the Scots.
But caller, isn't it incumbent upon those persons who know about these things? I mean, you're rattling them off to us now. Isn't it incumbent on those persons who know about them to not only share them vocally with us, but to embrace the opportunity that is being extended to everyone now to help us document it?
I quite understand what you're saying, but there's difficulty in that even. But really and truly, very few people want to listen to it. But I have written down a lot, and I have a lot of notes. And, it is frustrating, really. I'm telling you the truth. There are so many things. The Swan Island connection, that it's a tremendous amount of information that we have missed out on. Believe me, I know what I'm saying. There's a lot of it, and I can't really grasp or understand what has happened. But like I say, I can only see where there's been this transition into a new way of life, and that has been swept under the rug so far that it's very hard to pull out many of the things. I'm trying to get information, and you've got to realize many of those people, it would be their grandparents that would know anything about my father's exploits and others of my father's era and so forth. And this, it's not easy as people would think it's an easy process, but it's not.
But there are people who can assist you with that, and that's what Mr. Alfonso is talking about.
Yeah.
Extending that hand to help to assist people in that.
Right. We have to start somewhere, and we need people with, like Mr. Mickey, who has information to come forward and be able to sit with us And we can start formulating some of these stories here now because we have to get it from somewhere. Yes. Somebody has to be willing to pass on information and help us with it. And so we need to ask people to come forward, those who have contributions to make, and help us to put it in the right place, the right context, record it the right way so we can pass it on.
Exactly. I want to thank that caller for his contribution, and hopefully he will take on some of the suggestions that have been made here. Time for us to take a commercial break. We still have 2 callers on hold as well. We will take those callers as soon as we return, so please stay tuned.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
April 14th, 2021 is Election Day in the Cayman Islands.
Running for political office is no easy feat. You need to be everywhere, all of the time.
Now is the time to get your important messages out to the voting public.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, has always been there for incumbents and future candidates alike. Whether you want to get your political commercials or infomercials on air, make in-house studio appearances, or have your district meetings broadcast live to the listening audience.
Set a time today to meet with one of our knowledgeable Radio Cayman sales account executives who have their fingers on the pulse of the community.
Call them today on 949-7799 or email rcsales@gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, we've been in the community for just about 45 years. That means something.
Why work with a Suriba agent? We can tell you that those letters represent a proven understanding of the real estate market in the Cayman Islands. But it also means so much more than that. Our trained Suriba agents are committed to ethics, integrity, and excellence of practice. It's all about confidence, knowing you are working with a qualified Suriba agent. As members of Suriba, your trust is our promise. To find a Suriba agent today or to search thousands of listens, visit Suriba.com. Suriba, the mark of excellence in real estate.
I'm Sabrina Turner, inviting the prospect community to a public meeting to discuss localized and national issues on Thursday, February 25th, 7 p.m. at Macross Parking Lot on Marina Drive. For more information, call 926-8080. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday, February 25th, 7 p.m. at Macross Parking Lot on Marina Drive.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm not even going to tell you who's in the studio by now. You should know. This way we can spend more time allowing people to talk as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Jose, and good morning to your panel. This is McKeever Bush.
Yes, sir.
Morning.
Morning, sir. Very interesting, and always when we talk about our seafaring heritage. Two things. I am more than supportive, of course, of the building of the park there next to the assembly. One thing that I know that government needs to do, Fonzo.
Yes, sir.
Is to make sure of the efforts to keep the park clean. And I don't know how you will go about policing it to ensure that it's not abused by some people who just lay around and cause problems with other people that might want to go into the park, right?
Yeah, we're working on it, but we know that's an issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
The government, we have some good parks in the country, but keeping them always tidy is something else. I've tried in my area to do certain things with the community, pick up trash, clean up. Most people that go and use the parks for a purpose, they do a good job in policing and cleaning up after themselves. But there are times when the community itself needs to step in and help keep the place tidy, I would say. So that a good program of that needs to be established in government. Yes, we have Public Works right now doing it. They have contracted companies doing it. But sometimes it gets out of hand before anybody gets to attend to it.
And your second point, sir?
Yeah. That's one. If you give me a chance, then I can answer any question or anything. But the next one, I said, Mr. President, that the suggestion of an institution, I know what over the years the Cement Association, the Cement Seafarers Association have been doing and collating information. Our good friend, Consuelo, who is not with us today, has done a good job in trying to get a written history. There's, as Mr. Hurlston said earlier, there's a lot more that it needs to be done. I think that a proper institution where the association puts it up, or where the government works, or the Minister of Culture, whatever, works to put up a good institution of seafaring heritage, because we are rich, we are thick with our seafaring heritage, and while we have our own building, etc., and I say, oh, it's not that I went to see, it's just that my interest is there. We can't thank the management in the past, and certainly this management with Mr. Tibbetts and Mr. Douglas and the others. They put tremendous effort into that, and they're one single staff member. We can't say enough thanks. I can't say enough thanks.
Mr. Bush, I think it's an appropriate time for me to mention that one of our past presidents passed away recently, and we pay tribute to him, Mr. Hartman da Costa.
Yes.
Okay. Certainly we want to, as I said, management in the past have done a tremendous job to get us where we are, and pay tribute to yourself and Mr. Douglas and others now who are keeping things on track and have improved so much to bring to light more about the, if I should put it that way, about our seafaring heritage. I certainly would like to see that institution put in place.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Bush,
made a
for
note
that.
of it, sir.
Thank you very much. We have another caller, Ms. Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Connor. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine. How are you?
And Mr. Tibbetts and Mr. Fonzo, how are you all?
Good morning. I'm good, thank you.
I'm fine, thanks.
Yes, I am glad about that park, and I am one that I can boastfully say that I grew up there. I don't know if you all remember the Princess Royal Park, where the LA is right now. And what I would really like for this Seafarers Park to be done is that I hope that you all could have someone there, like Mr. Bush just said, to take care of the
caretaker.
But the part with that is to how a Caymanian from that area that knew about the history of that place. I know Dr. Steve McPhail, myself, and just a few others that grew up there knows all about that. And I mean, everywhere I look around the island, I see foreign people in control of the properties or something, but they do not know the history or the background of that. And I wrote a book. I don't know, Mr. Connor, if you have got one of them, but
yes, I do. I came. As a matter of fact, I was looking over it just a few days ago.
Yeah, about Mr. Connor, you yourself know about the Barbie right in the front cross there, as Mr. Ben Ross. You know, when he was living there, he had a big almond tree, guinea tree, and we had a lot of problem with us as children. But most of my friends that I grew up with is all passed on now. God bless their soul. But I know myself and Dr. Marfield and just a few other ones, or yourself, is left there. And that is, gentlemen, what I would like to see, a Caymanian there that knows the history of that area.
Maybe Mr. George, maybe Mr. Alfonso can put forward your name as that caretaker, seeing that you're retired now and all that.
I am happy, sir. I am retired, but I'm not tired. I would tell you this little quick one, and I'll leave you all.
Okay.
You know, every year Mr. Bennett had a little wooden house, and it was always white, right? And there, Christmas time, the crowd of them got together, and they were deciding what color to paint the house for Christmas. And Robert, God bless his soul, he was the one. He said, "Daddy, I think we can leave it green." But Mr. Bennett wasn't there when they were deciding the color. And Mr. Bennett came in from work, and he said, "Listen, let me tell you, I born in it white, and I can die in it white. And as long as I live, it gonna stay white."
And it remained white.
You know?
Yeah.
It remain white. But, I mean...
You sound like him too, George.
You know?
Yeah.
They have a lot of history because you got the Northern Bar right there, which was...
that's the name. I was trying to remember the name of the bar. Northern Bar. Thank you, George.
Bar.
Alvis Smith.
Yep.
And then, of course, you had Miss Dora's, Miss Dora right next to it.
That's right.
Did Miss Hilton have a house somewhere there too?
Yeah, right on the corner. Miss Hilton's house was right on the corner. She was a Russell, you know. She was a Russell before she married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So, I know the history there. That's my home.
Yep. Caller, thank you very much for that, and look forward to seeing you there tomorrow at 4 o'clock as well. Yeah. Have a question. One listener wanted to know, while we're celebrating our Caymanian seafarers, those Caymanian seafarers had multiple interactions with foreign nationals as chief engineers, as chief mates, as captains. Some of those interactions were positive, were extremely good, and they were encouraged by those captains and chief engineers, and some were bad. And when they were bad, they knew how to deal with them too. Just send home for some Johnson's baby powder and deal with them. Then they knew how to do that. But have the seafarers made any attempts to contact the families of some of these famous captains that we continue to hear people, some of our seamen talk about?
You know, that's a good idea. I never thought about it. My dad, my youngest brother, well, everybody know him, Kurt, he was named after a captain that my father was chief mate with. He was a German captain, and they had such a good relationship that when Kurt was born, he used this guy's name.
Okay.
So that's how Kurt got that German name, Kurt.
Kurt is German then, okay.
Well, the word...
the Kurt, Kurt Walheim and things like that,
And you never got him to go to sea. And him after sea captain, he never to see himself.
Well, you know, he as soon as he goes outside the reef, he gets seasick, but he stay inside the reef the whole day and the whole night and the whole week. But,
I know.
But as soon as he gets outside the reef, he gets seasick. So.
He told me about his trips from Jamaica to come back on the Marco.
Oh, my goodness. and those were times.
I remember my father talking about a captain. I'm not sure, Harold H. Helm, I think it may have been that he was on. But there was a captain who was hands-on all the time, and when the ship was docking and tying up, he would always like to be out there telling them what to do. And when you're tying using the rope and you're using
my uncle was on that ship, and
he lost his legs as a result of that snap.
To cut it got twisted on the hose pipe, and they had to use the fire axe to cut it. And when it flew back, it took his leg with it.
Wow. Yeah.
That was back half. Because normally captains be on the bridge or even forward, but not. But this guy was always, he was the boss. And he lost his leg,
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to take our last commercial break. Ms. Susan, I think we've closed off the phone line so we can give our guests an opportunity for closing comments and, again, to place some emphasis on tomorrow afternoon. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511 or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success. With Roper's Janitorial, we make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's, providing products and services for better public health.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000. This is an important public service announcement. In accordance with the standards in public life law, all candidates seeking election for public office must submit a declaration of interests before filing nomination papers on Monday, 1st March 2021. The standards in Public Life Schedule 1 declaration form can be found on the Commission's website, www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky. Again, all electoral candidates must submit their declaration of interest before nomination day. To facilitate a smooth and expedient verification process, the Commission is requesting submission by 10 a.m. Friday, 26 February 2021. For more information, visit www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky or call the Commission office at 244-3685.
This message is brought to you by the Commission for Standards in Public Life and the Elections Office.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning with President of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, Mr. Denston Tibbetts, and Chairman of Celebrate, Executive Chair of Celebrate Cayman, Mr. Alfonso Wright. Before I throw the mic back over to them for some closing comments, again, I want to remind you that the vaccination center at Owen Roberts International Airport is open until 12 o'clock. Today's surnames A through H for groups 1 and 2, A and B, with the surnames A through H open until 12 o'clock today. And of course, if you're over 60 years of age, you can go at any time. And I promised that I would share this one more time with you. Mr. Booth Hurlston, to Radio Cayman and the Cayman Islands government, I wish to congratulate and thank the Cayman Islands government for their handling of the virus crisis in these islands. When this terrible plague descended upon the world, our Premier Alden McLaughlin, and members of Parliament, the Health Minister, Dwayne Seymour, his staff, and Dr. Lee requested and received help and guidance from Public Health of England. They all took this advice seriously and implemented measures that were relevant for the Cayman Islands by quickly passing and enforcing any necessary laws. Therefore, as of today, there is no one with the virus on the streets of the Cayman Islands. As soon as the vaccine was available, the government arranged to bring it to the islands. At the age of 87 and suffering from COPD and asbestos-related lung disease, if I had caught the virus on a Monday, I would surely have been dead by Friday. Therefore, I stepped up and received my 2 shots, and I suffered only a slight sore arm and a mild headache for a few hours. So I say to all my fellow Caymanians, if you ever want to leave the islands for a trip abroad, you better go and get your shot. Who knows? You just might be saving your own life. So again, I want to thank Mr. Booth for that.
Well, maybe I can just interject there and say that I'm 70 odd years old and I have taken both my shots and I had no repercussions, thank God.
Yes. Excellent.
I had mine as well, OC.
Okay, I had mine too. Also,
yeah. I'm here.
Good.
It didn't take me out or made me grow horns.
And anything special before we go to Mr. Fun? Anything special that the seafarers are doing to encourage their members?
Well, we had Dr. Lee at the last meeting,
okay,
and Dr. Brown, Dr. Hazel Brown, and we also had Alfonso. So we're trying to get them to do it because it's so important, especially for my membership, because most of them are over 70 now. They always tell me that I'm one of the younger seafarers, but my next birthday I'll be 73, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yep.
But I encouraged all my membership to please get the vaccine. Please get it because it's so important.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Franz?
Yeah, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come back on today. I was here on Monday, and you graciously invited me to come back, and I took the opportunity to ask Mr. Dennison if he would accompany me to talk a little bit about our seafaring heritage, and in particular the groundbreaking ceremony for the Seafarers Park, which happens tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We're inviting everybody to come out. It's a working day, but it's in the late afternoon. There will be some parking on site, but we'll be providing some transportation for people from the cricket field down to the site. If you want to park there, we're asking you to carpool. We don't want any vehicles in there with only one person in it. We want you to carpool, bring a couple of people with you.
Yes.
I also want to take this opportunity to speak to the journey that we've been on ever since we started working on National Heroes Day, and we started working along with the Seafarers Association. It's been an absolute pleasure. They've been so easy to work with, so willing to participate, coming forward with suggestions. There's never been, any... We have differences of opinion, but we talk it through, we sort it out, and it's really been an absolute pleasure working with Mr. Tibbetts, Mr. Andrew Eden, Mr. John Douglas, and Ms. Anthea, their executive secretary over there.
I only had two things that I insisted that they do: have food and be on time.
and anytime we started late, or we didn't have food, it was an issue. They would show up at 2:30 for a 3 o'clock meeting and expect you to be downstairs waiting on them. Always, and I'm like that too. I don't like wasting people's time, so I try to be on time for meetings. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and we have a long way to go. So we have developed a really good working relationship now, and I pray that continues. I don't know at this stage how long Mr. Dennison will be in the chair. I think you're in your second year now, or this is still in your first year?
I'm in my third
term. Yeah. How many years you serve now? 1 or 2 years?
I've served this 3 years. This is my fourth year, because two-year terms. So I'm into my second year of the second term.
2 year, yeah. Okay.
And they've said, we're going to make sure you be there forever. And I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, you don't know if you want that, but
I do it because I love.
I can see that.
I love it, and
dedicated.
I have tried my endeavor best to reach to help us reach where we are today, and I'm grateful for I think it's an opportune time for me to say thank you to the government, because the changing of the street there, what was it, North Church Street? Or Harbour Drive?
Harbour Drive. Yeah.
To seafarers, and then of course the park. It was a surprise, and trust me, it was a big surprise. But I'm so grateful for it, and I encourage all my members. I called a lot of them last week, and all of them said they want to drive. Originally Tuesday night, when Fonzo was there, we said that they would come to the Seaman's Hall and we
transport them. Mm-hmm.
But all of them want to drive to the cricket pitch, and then. But please wear your jerseys.
Yeah, we did have that question, and you said the Seafarers polo shirt.
Yeah, like what?
We want them to wear that. Yeah.
Right. So at 4:00 tomorrow, we expect to see you all there. We will have a nice little afternoon camaraderie, a couple of speeches, but we won't make that too long. And then we're also having as many individuals as we can take part in the actual groundbreaking portion of it, with taking photos with the shovels and so on. Isn't just for the government executive. We also want to involve the seafarers in that process as well. Yeah. We can't call names or exactly who will be involved in it. We know President Denniston will be one of them, of course.
Of course, they haven't told me anything about that. So.
He's a good scout. He always comes prepared. Yeah. So, OC, thank you. And the general public, once more, you're invited tomorrow, 4:00, former Tower Building site. Carpool, come in and share in a very historical development here in the Cayman Islands.
We still have a few minutes, and I would like to really re-emphasize and address what the Speaker, Honorable W. McKeever Bush, said in relation to the care, of the park, because it's going to be important, and I say this, to everyone out there, it's going to be important that we take pride in what we have, and everyone really has to do their part to ensure that it is preserved and maintained, properly maintained.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not be coy about it. It's going to cost some good money to do what we want to do out there, and we must preserve it. And there are going to be some expensive pieces that are going to be in there for the people to enjoy. So we do need the general public on a whole to help us to manage that. But we accept that it must be properly maintained, properly cared for, cleaned and stuff. I want to say that restroom facilities will be in there, and there's a small amount of parking, but this is in connection with the promise that was made to the fishermen, that they would have restroom facilities and stuff there. So those restroom facilities will serve for the park and also for the fishermen across the street. And there's some work going on in the background to help facilitate them in other ways out there as well. But we will have to establish proper upkeep for the place. And we don't want it to be a hangout for people who other people would not be, comfortable having lunch and stuff around, making a nuisance of themselves. So we will have to depend on the police as well to help us keep law and order and stuff out there. Because life being what it is, these things will happen. Yes. We just have to make sure that we
I think it's also, you should also mention that. Well, first of all, you have to be there tomorrow evening to see the conceptual plans that have been drawn. But I need to emphasize that Miss Gwynn, the matriarch of all seamen, bust of Miss Quinn will be there. So
that is good, because we talked about that this morning before the show, as well. And
well, it's going to be more than a bust.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be a life-size image of her
great.
sitting behind a desk, like she would if you came in the office to deal with her. And with a typewriter and stuff on her desk is what we're working towards having there. And it'll be interactive, that you can sit by the desk and take photos and stuff with her.
Yeah.
And you can take that, you can go away with that.
And I want to say to my good friends out there, to those who used to work for the government and deliver the messages and stuff like that, you get involved too. They used to ride their bicycles and stuff like that. They used to be messengers for government. I think Rainer Barnes may have been one of those. I can't remember. Lennox, I think he was a messenger for Barclays Bank.
Oh, yeah.
But there were several
guys who need to help us with somebody's names.
Don't forget Cameron Brack. Don't forget Cameron Brack.
Yeah, I know.
Because one of the past chief secretaries, Mr. Jimmy Ryan, many a time he would ride his bicycle from Stake Bay all the way up to the creek where to give out messages.
Okay.
See, this is the stuff we want.
Yeah.
This is a very important part of this whole thing.
Yes.
Because the message isn't that good if it don't get delivered.
Exactly.
And I have some old Caymanian bikes that it may not be the bike that they use, but we could always say that it is. What they say, it's the victors that get to write the history. So we get to write our own history now. And speaking about writing history, we rely so much on the verbal part of our history, and we cannot rely on that anymore, because as it goes down through the years, it changes or it gets lost completely. That is why it's so important for us to write our own history. We cannot rely on other persons to write our history for us. Gentlemen, I want to thank you all very much for being here. I look forward to tomorrow afternoon. God's willing, I plan on being there myself, even though I only spent 9 months out at sea. But I certainly enjoyed it and saw it as my rite of passage. So, folks, I want to thank you.
Before you go off,
right ahead,
the point that you just made about 9 months, and I don't want you to discount that 9 months, because what I try to say to people, it's not the individual time that you spent out there that made a difference. It's a cumulative time that they all spent out there that made a difference. So your 9 months is a big contributor to the overall contribution that Seafarers made to Cayman. So don't discount your 9 months.
And I get the opportunity to talk about it because I have experienced it as well.
Another aspect is that I've spoken to ministers of government who have been out to sea, and this, I don't deserve anything because it was a choice. I didn't have to go. Well, I didn't have to go either, because I was privileged. My parents afforded me an opportunity to have an education, but I wanted to go, and I spent a number of years there. And I can talk about it.
Absolutely. Be proud of it.
Yep. Yeah. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to We're the Charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. Remember, tomorrow, 4 o'clock, groundbreaking ceremony for Seafarers Park. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
Today's biggest news.